So Tiger Woods has a secret modification that he does to all his irons. I'm going to tell you what it is, how to do it, and if you should try it. Let's go. Hi everyone, welcome to the Mobile Club Maker. I'm AJ, I hope you're having a wonderful day. So we are going to be looking at the secret modification that Tiger Woods does to all his irons. Talk about what it is, how to do it, and if it's something that might make sense for your golf clubs. Hey look, and before we get started, why don't you go down below, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell icon so you can be alerted when I post new videos. Look, if you're interested in golf club equipment, golf club fitting, golf club repair, and golf club building, there is nowhere better on the internet than this channel. So if you want to golf smarter, this is where you need to be. Okay, so Tiger Woods, possibly the greatest golfer of all time, has access to every conceivable super high-tech piece of equipment and technology out there. Nanotech, carbon fiber, 3D printing, AI, you name it. He could be using all of it and any of it. What is this piece of equipment? What is this modification that he does to all his irons? Well, it's right here in this hand. What is it? That's right, it's a wood dowel. Now, you're probably thinking, well, that doesn't sound very high-tech or very modern. And you're right. Truth be told, if you are an old school club maker, then this is something you probably have been aware of for a long time. But for most people, I would say they have no idea that Tiger Woods has wood dowels down inside the shafts of all his irons. Now, why does he do that? That's the second big question. Well, it's all about feel. It's all about vibration dampening. So this has been a method of dampening out vibration from steel shafts for a long, long time. And it's something that Tiger Woods, to my knowledge, still uses today in his current equipment. So these simple little wood dowels can be installed inside a steel golf shaft and basically cut down on vibration. Now there's a lot of other technology out there that's been introduced over the years that dampens out vibration, different kinds of foam and wire and combinations of different things. But this is still what Tiger Woods chooses to use. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how to install these in your golf clubs, and then we're going to take them out to the range, try it out against a club that doesn't have it in it, and see if I can tell a difference, see if I can tell how much of a difference it makes on hitting different kinds of shots, and see if it's worth trying it in your golf clubs. So what are you going to need for this? Well, first off, you're going to need a golf club, and you're going to need to take the grip off so you can get down inside the shaft. Second thing you're going to need are some dowels. Now, you could do this a few different ways. You could get long wood dowels, cut them down, and then install them that way. But the simplest way, and the way that I would recommend doing it, here's another little secret, is to use these dowel pins. Now, there's two reasons, really there's more than two, there's three reasons to use these. First off, they're already pre-cut to a good length, so you don't have to cut anything. Secondly, they're fluted, so they have little ridges running all the way down, all around it. That gives you two different benefits. First off, it'll help slide it in to the tip of the shaft here. Secondly, when we're going to epoxy these in, it gives somewhere for the epoxy to squeeze to, so you aren't going to have that sort of pressure buildup when you try and push it in and possibly have that dowel pop back out while it's drying. The other benefit, they're tapered there at the end. So again, it's going to be easier to slide them as far in as you need to go with them. So basically, you don't have to do any extra sanding, any extra prep work on these. They are ready to go as is. Size on these, because they come in different sizes, for a standard steel iron shaft, you're going to want to use 5/16 of an inch. So a little bigger than a 1/4 inch, but that's going to give you the perfect size to fit down inside of this shaft. Beyond that, we're also going to need a little bit of epoxy, and we're going to need some sort of ramrod, some sort of basically piece of steel, or it could even be wood, but something to hammer this dowel pin down into place and have it sit in the bottom of the shaft. All right, let's mix up this epoxy real quick. Again, about 45 seconds of mixing is all you need. Okay, now we're just going to take a little bit of the epoxy and we're just going to put it just right here up on the tip of the dowel. We don't need the epoxy to run all the way down because That little bit is going to hold it in place. It's also going to squeeze up a little bit when it goes in the shaft. So just a little bit there, right on the tip. Okay, at this point, we're just going to drop the dowel, epoxy side down, into the shaft, and follow it using our ramrod to basically just kind of tap it down into place. So first off, we're going to drop it into the shaft, get our ramrod, and that's it. Tapped it in, it's good to go. We're going to wait about 10 minutes for this to dry, and then we're going to go ahead, grip this up, and I will see you out on the range. Okay, so we're here at the range now, and we're going to start out with the 9 iron, which is the club right before the club that I went and put the wood dowel in. So this club is just as it plays. There's no modification in any way to it. Okay, that felt pretty good. We'll hit 1 or 2 more like this and then switch over, just so we have a feel for each. So this all felt pretty good. All right, now we're gonna switch over to the 8 iron. Again, this has that little wood dowel right down here. Now the other thing to remember with this is because we added that little wood dowel down by the head, it actually increased the swing weight by 1 point. Now that's not much, but just something to be aware of if you are considering doing this, is it will impact the swing weight just a touch. Now, to be honest, I did not hit that great, but it felt pretty good. There's a little bit on the heel side. Let's try another one. That one felt pretty good. That one felt like butter right there. That one was great. Okay, next up, I'm gonna try and hit a few thin shots on purpose because, let's face it, it's those thin shots where you really can feel the golf ball hitting the golf club. So let's see if we can hit a few thin ones with this. This is again the 9 iron. Yeah, definitely hit that about 2 grooves down. Definitely felt it a little bit more. That one was really thin. Definitely felt that one. That one was just a touch thin. Definitely felt a little bit more clicky. Okay, now we're gonna hit with the 8 iron. Again, this has the Tiger modification, the wood dowel in it. We're gonna try and hit this one a little bit thin and see if we notice anything. Oh yeah, that was definitely thin. But again, it definitely felt a little more thunky. Is that a word? Thunky? I think it felt a little more thunky, which in this case is a good thing. All right, come on, let's choke down a smidge and see if we can get a good thin one. Yeah, probably about a groove low. That was a thin one. But even with that, and that was definitely thin, that was probably 3 grooves thin, it still didn't sting at all. Now, a good portion of that is also these irons that I'm hitting, these Mizuno MMCs, which have a good bit of technology in them to sort of dampen out vibration. So that definitely makes a huge difference as well. But even with that, I feel like I can still tell a little bit of a difference. Now, how much of it can I actually feel versus how much of it is in my head? Well, that's a different question. Man, I like these irons. I forget how much I like these. But anyway, I would say that on the misses, you definitely have a little bit less vibration. And I would guess, now I'm not good enough to be hitting blades, pure blades, but if you're playing a pure blade, I have a feeling it probably makes a sizable difference. Well, I'm still kind of on the fence about this whole thing because I feel like I could tell a slight difference. I feel like this 8-iron with that wood dowel in there was a little bit more thuddy, was a little bit softer on some of those thin hits that I tried to make. But again, really overall, if you didn't tell me that one of these two clubs had that dowel in there, I don't know that I would have been able to pick out if there was one in there, or if one was in there, which club it was in the first place. So again, I think it really goes back to, it's going to depend on what kind of irons you're using. If you are playing a straight blade, just a pure blade muscleback iron, then I think these are probably going to make a bigger difference, because that is going to, you know, it naturally gives you a lot more feedback. It naturally gives you a lot more vibration. Once you move into the kinds of clubs, and these are by no means big cavity backs. I mean, these are very small cavity backs. These are still more of a player's club. But they do have an insert. They do offer some vibration dampening technology in the head. And so I really couldn't tell a huge difference. Now, again, if you had something bigger than this, like a Callaway Big Bertha or something like that, I would really be skeptical that you would notice anything. But in this case with these, maybe I could tell a slight difference, maybe not. It was pretty hard to say. But again, if it's something you want to try, as you could see, it was extremely easy to do and it's extremely cheap. So if you want to try it, it's not going to hurt anything. And if you wanted to, you could always get them back out again. You could basically pull the head off, use a ramrod going the opposite direction, heat up that shaft down at the bottom and ram that back out. But again, I haven't noticed from my time with them a big enough difference that's going to make me want to go and redo all my clubs with some wood dowels in them. I guess I will continue to not be as good as Tiger, although I don't think the wood dowels really had anything to do with that. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, please go down below, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you can be alerted when I post new videos. Again, you can find me on Patreon if you want to support me there at AJ Golf, and you can also find me on Instagram at Mobile Club Maker. Hope you enjoyed this video. We will see you next time. Bye.